Did you know growing wealth could be simple? With our Leadway investment plan, you have all you need to help you grow your money over a period of time. Aside its attractive returns, it also comes with a free life insurance cover that helps you create wealth for your loved ones even when life happens. Grow your wealth the smart and simple way today by visiting www.leadway.com/Leadway investment plan or send us a DM on our social media accounts. Have you always wanted to buy a house, a car, study abroad, or get married? Expensive, right? Your goals can be met with the Leadway Target Plan. Here's how it works. You tell us your target sum, when you want to achieve it, and how often you want to contribute towards achieving it. We then tell you how much you will be contributing periodically. There's more. The Leadway Target Plan also protects your loved ones if you pass away unexpectedly. It pays the target sum to your beneficiary, whether or not you achieve the sum as at the time of your demise. Live your dream today by visiting www.leadway.com/target plan or send us a DM on our social media accounts.
Did you know you can sort out your house rent, shop rent, school fees, and other yearly payments with our Smart Cash Plan? With as low as 5,000 monthly, the Leadway Smart Cash Plan can help you save towards any short-term goal. You choose how you pay and even set up a reoccurring payment that automatically debits your account at stipulated dates so you don't forget. And after a year, the accumulated amount plus interest will be paid into your bank account. What's more, you can also get a life insurance cover for up to 2 million naira in benefits, which is paid to your beneficiary in the event of a natural or accidental death, and 250,000 naira if death is caused by COVID. This is indeed more than just a savings plan. To sign up, visit our website or send us a DM on our social media accounts.
Arola! You are doing well. You know, I brought this boy to you. He's not serious. He's not doing well. He's just playing. He's using his life to play kite. So I want you to check his future for him, so that if he should see it with his own eyes, he will buckle up. He will hold his life seriously. What do you want?
His future is secure, though. Even his glory is fuba. You mean logo? This is my glory. Ogomina. This is my glory.
You are doing well, my dear. I always believed in him. I always knew that his life is secure. Thank you. So yeah, let's go.
Don't let us go. Don't let us go.
Why is that, Liz?
I want him to please check your own too.
Oh, serious? Ogo daddy. Ogo that want to catapult, you know.
Very good. That's it. Because from your own catapult to Ogona, I can even decide to tap from me. As you are even talking, I'm already typing. Yes. Very good. Very good. Careful, Lord. You have hacked his future. Is this his glory? Oh, sing, come back.
Are you normal? Give me what to me that is rubbish. Do you know what you are doing with glory? Look at this bombastic. I'm sure they did not call you. You call yourself. My friend, you stand up. Let's go and get out of there.
This is me, Chooks. My wife, Lola, recently quit her job to follow her dream of becoming a successful baker. She's not quite there yet, but she works hard. My daughter spends most of her time on her vlog. I can't see the fans she's always talking to, but it makes her happy and she gets good grades. My son wants to become a DJ and play music around the world. His sister teases him a lot, but I know she believes in him. They love the good life, and I don't want anything to take that away from them, not even when I'm no longer around. So when my friend Musa told me about the Leadway Lifestyle Protection Plan, I signed up immediately. LLPP is a life insurance plan that helps me create wealth for my family, even if life happens. So, I am rest assured that no matter what happens to me, my family will be okay and they can still achieve all their dreams. Love no be for mouth o.
Act on your love and protect the future of the ones you love with the Leadway Lifestyle Protection Plan.
From Asia to America, Ajala loves to travel. From Europe to Australia, Ajala loves to travel. Africa straight to Antarctica, Ajala loves to travel.
Don't panic on a trip. Get the Leadway Travel Insurance now.
Whether alone or with family, Ajala loves to travel.
Leadway Assurance, ensuring happiness since 1970.
If someone could make a reality show about your office, what do you think it would be called? Hold that thought till you meet my colleagues. Hey, Babs.
How far, my guy?
Anything for the boys? Gone to the clinic yet?
Nah, I spoke to a doctor via the app.
Hey, Mama. Welcome back, Susan. How was your leave?
Wonderful.
She needed therapy to take care of her mental health. Our HMO really helped with that. Glad she's back to her body cells. Wow, that was fast. Thanks. So, what do you think about that reality show?
Nothing beats good health. Do you agree? For access to quality all-round care, home and abroad for yourself, your family, and even your staff, make the smarter choice. Choose Leadway Health, the HMO that offers you more than just healthcare. For more information, visit www.leadwayhealth.com. Leadway Health, for health, wealth, and more.
My name is Bumi George, aka J Booms. I'm the current CEO of Shredder Gang, a wife and a mom of 2 powerful boys. My favorite part about being a mom is all the love I get to give and receive, and then putting the right values in my children, which in turn gives us a better society. My children are already very vocal about what they want to be when they grow up, seeing that they're only 6 and 4. My first says he wants to be a pilot, just like his dad, and my second says he wants to be a surgeon. And so my goal for them and my dream for them is to get them there the best way possible. Good education is a necessity. My husband and I decided that we were going to start planning from the onset. So we approached Leadway and they gave us 3 plans. We went with the target plan, which is basically setting a certain amount of money as a target. Every month, a certain amount is taken out of our account towards that target. So it instills discipline for us, making sure that we get to that target goal. What I really liked about this particular plan was that there's a protection element to it. So even if life happens, the children are still protected and they still get the target sum for their education. Our children are probably maybe toddler age or early school age. And you know how much you're paying right now. Now imagine in the next 15 to 20 years, how much it would be for them. So start planning now. If you really want to plan and stick to it, getting an education plan is the best way to go. You can contact Leadway Assurance either on Instagram or Twitter, or you can visit their website at www.leadway.com/education to get a call back.
Hi. Hi, welcome to Leadways in Live. We'll be talking about how you as a salary earner can manage black taxes. I'm excited to be here. I hope you're excited too. Okay, I can see a few people have already joined. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I see David. I see Babatunde. Yeah, this is supposed to be fun. Also, when it says we answer all our questions, of course, let's get right to it. So let me just go ahead and introduce the other people that are going to be on this with me today. I'd like to introduce Eniola Emo. She's a senior underwriter with us, and Chidube Mukwedi. He's an ERM expert. Hi Eniola. Hi Chidube.
Hi, Olamide. Hi. Hi, Eniola.
Okay, so let's go straight right into it. So first and foremost, I think we'll just first like to understand what is the meaning of black tax. I know in case you haven't seen the promo videos we made for this session, black taxes is just money that you have to like give to maybe like you feel obligated to give to like your extended family members, or that you feel obligated to give to like other like even relatives, like maybe your mother's friends or anybody that you just feel obligated just because like you know them, like it could be a distant relative, just because of the obligation you feel that as like you need to help people around you. You can't be the only one that is okay. Like if people around you need something, it's just you feel obliged. And as a salary earner, since considering like our all individuals have limited resources, so considering our resources are limited, how are we going to be able to manage all these demanding needs and also be able to live like a very decent life? I will just introduce again people that will be speaking with me on this. Eniola is a senior underwriter. She will also be speaking on this. So Eniola, do you want to say a few words?
Just about black tax. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, Chidibem is also okay. So Chidibem also works with us. Chidibem, do you want to say a few things about black taxes?
Okay. Hi, can you hear me, Olamide?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so the topic is an interesting one. Basically, what is the concept of black tax? You can see it as sort of the financial responsibility to take care of your immediate and extended family members. It's something that has been around for generations. It's something that is still being practiced today. Sometimes it can be a difficult burden to bear, especially for young people who are still trying to establish themselves financially. So I guess we'll be talking about today all of the ways in which we can sort of navigate this and also come out on top. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dubem. So I don't know, is there anybody that is watching that wants to give us like an example of how they can relate to black taxes? I remember the first time I heard the word black taxes, it was Trevor Noah. So Trevor Noah was he was talking about okay, so as Africans, the way we believe that I feel like maybe people that are not African, they are more individualistic, but for us, we have this very communal, like everybody needs to help everybody kind of thing. Because I'm sure if you're telling somebody that was not Nigerian or not even African that somebody's getting married and I have to buy a shape, person like actually like what? But for us, we feel like, how will I show I'm supporting you if I'm not wearing the same fabric? Do you get that you're wearing and all? So for us as individuals, like at least like culturally as Nigerians, it feels like it's something that we feel like is like obliged to do. But I think the first thing we'll most likely be talking about is if we say how to deal with black taxes, it doesn't make you like stingy if you're like, I don't want to. is it really about a stingy thing? Do you think it's like because like somebody's stingy that somebody's like, why can I manage this?
Well, I won't say it's about being stingy. You know that I think the concept of black tax was sort of born out of responsibility, out of a sense of responsibility, if I'll put it that way. So many of us watched our parents, our guardians, people that trained us sacrifice a lot. We watched them sacrifice a lot to sort of put us on the path that we are on today. Um, so as at the time we start earning some money, making some money to sort of um, go about our own or live our own lives. Sometimes we just feel that we should have that section where we're able to sort of give back to them and also be able to hold them up when they are down. So it's not about being stingy. It's just I think it's just born out of the sense of responsibility. So that's the thing.
Yeah, just like the BIM said, it's about responsibility, how to manage your tax, how to manage your income, so that you can meet up all your expenses. Imagine if you have, yeah, they pay you today and you're giving out all your money, you now have to go and beg somebody else to help you pay for some. Like, do you get it? It doesn't make any logical sense if you give to the extent that even you like find it difficult to survive. So just reiterating what you said that it is about managing your resources efficiently, not necessarily about being stingy. Eniola, do you want to add to that?
Yes, I agree with what Dubem said. You have to be responsible, even if you're helping people or like Olamide, you said in the introduction that because we live in a communal, like Nigeria is more communal, we are more community centric. So it's hard for you to say that, to say no, you're not going to help. I think it's being able to draw that balance between helping and also not putting yourself in the back burner, and then you look back later and it's like you're working, you don't have any savings, or you can't actually do anything with yourself because you've pretty much given out all your money to black tax.
Exactly. So let's just say that this whole session is still talking about being financially responsible, preaching financial literacy, more or less like how do you give and still make sure you like have enough to sustain yourself. Okay, so I think what I would be very interesting now is if you can actually have real life practical examples. So if you are in the audience and you're listening, you can tell us, maybe just write out one of the times that you've experienced this. I can start. But now I'm scared because if the person is watching and the person now watches me complaining about the time that they asked me for money. Anyway, so I think I can say one of the examples I can actually really very much give is my sister and I were extremely very close. Like we're just literally two of us. So we're very, very close. And there was a particular time that she comes to me and she's like, oh, I need to do so and so and so. And I'm like, that's a whole lot of money. And that's like a dip. If I remove that from my savings, how much money do I have left? But then at the point in time, I don't know, I feel like maybe it's because of the kind of connection we have, I just like give her the money. And the truth of the matter is, I loaned her the money. And the truth of the matter is, like, after a while and everything, I think she paid back a bit of it. And, just say, just take the money. And I think the beauty of it all is that now is like life is so in waves, because there also became a time where I was literally like stranded and she was the only person I could go and meet. I was like, Bisola, you totally understand, this is where I am. And she just gave me the money, like, oh, take. So sometimes when I look at it or when I think about it, I don't think like black tax is more like it's necessarily equivalent to just charity. I feel like it's more like a paying it forward kind of mentality, like, oh, we're all helping each other for the betterment of everybody. So maybe today I'm the one that has, so I'm the one that can help. Who knows what can happen tomorrow? You can be the one that has, and you can be the one that would help. So for me, that's how I've always seen it. Like, oh, it's more of a situation of if I'm in a position to be able to help or to be able to pay forward, why not pay forward? They can. I'm not self-sufficient, so there will be times where also like somebody else will be paying it forward for me. I don't know if Dubem or Eniola have any other examples that they can think of, like real life where black tax has like applied to them. let me put Dubem on the spot. Dubem, give us a real life example of when you have had to contribute to us, or you felt taxed, like black tax.
I mean, as someone in the comments said, black tax is part of our everyday life in in Nigeria. Um, Personally, there are situations where, as I said, sometimes black tax is born out of a sense of responsibility. Watching my parents, we sacrifice a lot. Sometimes even so not only parents, as we grow up, they say a child is trained by the community. There are some people around you that had a hand in some of the things you did while growing up, and then now that you're earning, they come to you for one financial need or the other. So there are situations where I found myself in that position, and I was able to come through. So these are the things that we see with black tax. You cannot necessarily avoid it, and the difference between now and then, while some people are saying in the comments that it's very difficult, the difference between then and now is even the cost of living at that time. We can see was better than what we see today. Today, the cost of living, they say, wants to kill the living. So it's a bit more difficult now, but it's still something that we try to do out of a sense of responsibility. We sort of feel obliged, so we don't feel bad that these people that came through for us in their own time, we also have to try to come through for them in our own time. So, yeah, I'm just trying to think of one particular example, but as I said, I can group them into situations where there are situations where, I have maybe an aunt or an uncle going through something, and then my mom just puts a call through to me, and she sort of tries to remind me of when I was in school and this person brought food for me and stuff like that, and then I'm just like, oh, I have to try to step up and do something for this person. So this is just how sometimes black tax plays out. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dubem. So I think next question, or next let's go to the heart of it. How do we manage this? Manage urgent 2K. I saw somebody writing, I'm always trying to, if I read it correctly, you say, I'm always praying, oh God, don't let me, my prayer every morning is, oh Lord, shield me from unplanned billing. So how do we manage this unplanned billing? Aniela, do you want to go?
Yes, sir. I think one of the major things that is important to know that it's not every bill or every expense or every request to help that you have to say yes to. I think at the heart of it, most of us are scared to tell the person no because we don't know how the person is going to react to the no. But then it's your money, you're the one that works for it. It's not everything that someone comes to meet you for that you have to accept. If it's within your power to do so, fine. If not, I think it's okay for you to say no. Or if you have a budget set, but then even the budget is to be personal to you. Somebody can come now and say, oh, I can do 10%. I can do black tax of up to 100,000. Somebody else is like, I can't do more than 10,000. I think the major thing is just knowing, prioritizing what's important to you, saying no to expenses that you don't think is necessary to help, and also just having a budget for yourself. So, okay, this is how much I can spare towards black tax from my salary.
Yeah, I think that is it. Because I feel like the only way we can effectively ever manage our finances is to actually have a plan. I think almost every single financial literature we've ever read, they all say the same thing. That you need to have like some financial plan, and then you need to also have the discipline to stick to the financial plan. So the message now is not don't support. We're saying support. We're saying that's even what you never know when you yourself can need support. Support if you're in a position to help. But we're also saying that you need to have like a very clear, defined plan that, okay, 20% of my salary is going to go to this. So if you have a 20% of your salary that is advocated towards black tax, anytime people ask you for money, say, okay, total is there from this 20%, and it keeps going. Once you mark whatever percentage it is, you wait until the next month before you can now like help any other person within that particular spectrum. Dubem, I don't know if you have any other thing to add to this.
Yeah, as Aniola has said, personally, what I try to do is budget for it. I think some people also have that in the comment section. I try to budget for it every month, and then if it comes, fine. If it doesn't come, I just know that okay, it's extra money for me. But one thing I always try to do is budget for it because you don't want to have any unplanned expenses. Yeah, so that's how it is basically.
Thank you very much, Dwayne. Ellie, do you want to add anything to that?
So if you prioritize that, apologies for that. If you have your targeted saving plan and you've saved towards it, then you know that at least you're comfortable enough to know that okay, I've looked out for myself first, and I can help somebody else that needs the black tax if I can afford it that month. That's what works for me.
Uh, okay, so for me, one of the other things that work for me is to try to, I mean, aside budgeting, and I think Eniola mentioned a targeted savings plan, which probably makes her organize herself. Some of the other things that work for me is so I have some health insurance plans on the retail side, which I've sort of purchased for family members because again health is one of the things that black tax takes up. um, Health is one of the things that black tax will sort of take up, so getting a health insurance plan is one of the things that I've sort of done to help my the people that I have this responsibility towards, so that once sort of emergencies come up, I know that I don't have to sort of bring out any other funds out of pocket for the year. Um, Another thing is uh, you can get a motor insurance plan for your family members so that if they have some unplanned expenses for the motor insurance, you also don't have to pay out of pocket. Um, and I have a question for you. And the question is it okay to choose not to pay black tax? Who and who are entitled to benefit from black tax? And does family always come first when it comes to black tax?
Okay, so I think it's okay not to pay black tax. And I think it goes back to my initial point is being firm in saying no. And I think sometimes it would also depend on your nature and your personality. I think in general, when you're very sympathetic, when you hear some, I won't call them sub stories, some things happen and you know that, okay, you have to help. So then, yes, but I would say you don't have to. And then you also asked about who should benefit from it. I would say majorly family and then very close friends because you do have cases where you've supported someone in terms of black tax and then you just know that you've added this person to your monthly budget or monthly expense because every month it's almost like their timing when your salary is coming. Every month there's a story, there's something that they need you that, oh, I need to attend to this, and it's almost like they are using you as their own savings. They are not actually taking responsibility for themselves. So for people like that, the moment you say no, you will realize that sometimes maybe they come today and say, oh, please, I need 20K urgently. The next month, they are the one, if you say no this month, they are the ones that will come back again. They will be reducing the amount by themselves. Okay, even if it's just 10,000. Okay, even if it's just 5,000. Then you now start to think, do they really need this money? Or is it just you're just seeing me as extra, that I have extra money to spare? So that's that. And then I'll say for who should be entitled to black tax, again, it will be family and friends, and even that it will depend on what they need it for. So like for a lot of my friends, for most of their weddings, like most of them, like you have to be very close to me, for example, for me to wear ashwebi. And it's not because I don't like it, but then if I think about the cost of the ashwebi is one thing, I have to go and tell tailor to go and make it, and then even after I make this outfit, I'm probably not wearing it again. So if I'm wearing ashwebi, it has to be a very, very close friend. I'm fine with wearing the color. I don't have to wear the ashwebi. It does not make me less of a friend. It does not make me enjoy the party any less. So sorry, you had one more question.
So does
Or have I
family
captured it?
first? Does family always come first when it comes to black tax?
So off the top of my head, I want to say no, but morally, I'm supposed to say yes. So I think that's where you have to be selfish for yourself, where you have your own, if you have your own saving plan, or you have your own targets of what you're working towards. Okay, I'm working towards, or I want to go and do my master's, or I'm working towards, well, I want to get my own house, or I want to get a car. Then I shouldn't now say I'm going to reduce my own standard because I want to help family. That's one. But then you have cases that family members come and the situation is very critical, and you know that you have to step in. Like, then that's on that. If it's like, oh, a health situation, somebody needs to go to school. Again, we'll ride again on the importance of having the education plans and the health benefits. So if those insurances, or when those insurances are in place, then I'm not really going out of my own pocket. It's like that saving I've had from my insurance plan, I can use that to support family. But I don't think family should take more priority over my own expense because of black tax. Personal opinion.
Okay, thanks for that. To those in the comment section, we also love to have your view. Who should come first, family or friends, when it comes to black tax? It would be nice to see your own opinions on that. Thanks for that, Eniola. As a salary earner, right, is a salary earner that, from what you said now, you're totally not against black tax, right? So how does this affect our, personal finance and other plans? Today, we have, even with the fuel price increase, as I said earlier, the cost of living today, they said the cost of living wants to kill the living. How does this affect your personal finance? You have a lot of things to do with your money. So how does black tax, as salary earners, how does it affect your personal finance? Hi, Nela. Can't hear you if you're speaking.
Okay. Sorry, I think I accidentally pressed mute there. So I think it will take a big hole in your finance if you're not careful, because you just realize that you're getting money and you're expending everything out. By the time you come back and take stock, you realize that you haven't saved, or you haven't covered yourself for certain essential needs or essential expense. That's one. And then two, you don't want to be the person that is earning, and before you realize it, like you're giving so much out, you are now having to go and be the one also doing black tax for other friends. So you're having increased debt, like, please borrow me 20,000 this month, I'll return you back. And then you now realize that you're paying back somebody's debts, that you're paying back a debt that you've taken from a friend or family, because you're trying to support another friend and family, and you're not really having, like, what you're making is not really, you're not really having anything extra for yourself. or to even look after yourself. I think those are the two major things. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, salary earners, I think black tax takes a toll on personal finance, because again, you are someone that is scheduled. You receive your salary on a schedule, right? So uh, sometimes it can be overwhelming, and if you don't have total control of it, you may find yourself without savings or even personal investments. And when push comes to shove, you find out that you are with nothing. And even sometimes some of the people that you have helped through black tax may not even come through for you. So, yeah, it does impact our personal finance, which is why we should plan for it. So that's what I think about it. So the question again is, what do we do when black tax demands get overwhelming? Let me speak to it before you continue. So when black tax gets overwhelming, personally, uh, one of the things I do really is to actually discuss it with the people um, that I'm actually having this sort of commitment with. I discuss it with them. I let them understand that at this time, truly, it is overwhelming for me, because again, you cannot truly give what you don't have, or again, once you've exceeded the budget, except it's an extremely dire situation. There sometimes you need to learn to say no, because if you don't, uh, probably be shooting yourself in the foot. So, what do you think? What do you do when black tax demands get overwhelming?
Um, I think it's also important that even when the demands come, yes, they can get overwhelming. Again, going to your, if you're somebody that is very sympathetic or empathetic, like every story you feel bad, like if I say no now, it will be like I'm a bad person. But I think sometimes if you actually sit down with people and say, see, me too, my own expenses this month, they are much, I can't really afford to. I think people will be under, they should be understanding towards that. It's not every time. I mean, you try when you can, but it's life. You might also have some expenses too that is more than what you bargained for that month. So when it gets overwhelming, just remember that you can't help everybody. You can only do what you can, and you don't want to help everybody to the point that you are to the point that you hurt yourself because, oh, I'm helping people and then I don't have any money for myself. I don't have any savings for myself after working hard.
Yeah. Okay. So having said that, what's the best way to pay? What are the best ways to pay black tax? So, for example, if someone asks you for like 30K, do you give the full amount? Do you give less than demanded? You know how they say sometimes that if someone asks you for money, you give what you can forfeit if maybe the person can't pay back. So how do you? What are some of the best ways rather to pay black tax? So I can give you some of the ones that I think I mentioned that I have used, some of the ways I've used in the past. And I think I spoke about having retail plans, health retail plans in place. We also spoke about having a savings plan in place to cater for bills that you pay annually. It could be your own personal bills, it could be your payments that you make for others. Um, I think the health retail plan is one that has really helped because health needs are very, very they come all the time. So having a health retail plan is such that it helps me to pay black tax too. So Eniola, what are some of the other things that you use to pay black tax? I think you're muted if you're trying to speak.
Okay, so I think I like was something related. So if you come and meet me and say test, and not just close, sometimes even depending on the support. If you come today and say 10,000, I might give you 5, I might give you 8. And it's not because I don't want to. I just don't want you to, I also don't want the person to feel like every time you come to meet me, whatever amount you ask me for, I'm available to give you that. So I think that's also still pushing some responsibility back to the person. Like it's not it's not every time you ask someone for money that you get everything completely. So I personally I will not give you the full amount. That one is it's not it's a no. I will not do that.
But then for
I think Olamide wants to say something.
Can you hear me? John told me. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so can you hear me? Okay, so I think for me, I would say that one of the things that could also help is to put down a list of the things. So if you maybe there are some certain things that you made up your mind that, oh, I want to help out on these things. So you already put them down in the list and then you actually help on those particular things. So maybe like now you made up your mind that for your parents' health, you want to be responsible. So you just say, okay, I'll pay for Leadway's senior citizens health plan. So you're paying every year for that health plan, and then you know that okay, if your parents have any health issues and anything, that's already covered. So normally, maybe every time they go to the hospital, you've already made up your mind you're going to cover it. By paying for the health plan, you're reducing how much you have been paying like regularly, and you've already taken it upon yourself that this though is what I will do to support. I feel like what you just need to do is clearly define in the ways you want to support and then now live up to supporting it that way. So even if other people are asking for money and or you feel in your mind that well, I already made up my mind that I'm going to support in terms of my parents' health. I'm always going to support it if maybe a friend of mine is maybe you know one of your friends that maybe the person is not currently earning any amount of money. So you already made up your mind that you know what, this person is in between jobs for now. Every month though, I'll help out by giving the person so and so and so and so. So you're clearly stating what and what you will do. And once you hit the mark of the things you're going to do, the other ones you just like, oh, I'm sorry, I already like help.
Yes. Okay, I mean that's a solid one, Olamide. The Leadway health plans is something that you also use. So I mean that's great. Same with me. Okay, so I have one more question. What strategies have you found effective in balancing your own financial well-being with meeting your black tax obligations? I think it's something that we've spoken to in the past, but let me hear your own view, Olamide.
What solutions have I found helpful? I think okay. So this is it. This is one thing I do. In the beginning of the year, I already told myself that for actual bill, I'm not going to buy more than 2. So once the 2 that I'm going to buy has come, any other after that, I'm like, sorry, I'm not buying. I already said it's only 2, and I already bought it, so I'm going to buy it here. Sometimes if I can buy one, and then other people are like, sorry. But then when you say, because I know that one of my other friends' weddings coming, so it's just for me what has helped. I can't say I'm totally like doing the best because I feel like I can also always give more. But I feel like what has helped me to where I am now is clearly define the extent I would do and the one I won't do. So 2 actually be by this is the amount of money I'm going to give to. So I'm like anybody asking for money, this is the amount. Once he hits that, no more. I think that's for me. That's what
I mean, that's a good strategy. Maybe it's something I would adopt too, because sometimes it can get really overwhelming. And then I think planning at the beginning of the year also helps you to sort of take control of the whole situation. So, do we have any questions from the audience, our listeners? A question just came up to say, is sponsoring someone through a university black tax? I don't know. Olamide and Yola, do you want to go?
So sponsoring someone through university, that one I even really like, because like there's this adage about give me I'd rather you teach me how to fish than give me a fish, like, or than give me fish. So if you are sponsoring this education, you're empowering the person so that the person is like empowered forever. So is it black tax? You can say it is, because maybe you're helping somebody, but it's the kind of thing that that the reward is unlimited, in terms of once the person, like, the benefits from the education is way more than maybe the actual bill that somebody will have bought now, for instance. And another very awesome part about sponsoring somebody through the education is how much it's going to cost. If you want to sponsor somebody through education, okay, this is how much school fees is. Do you get it? So it's not necessarily unplanned. Once you make up that decision, you just kind of like add it to your plan. So for that one, it's so structured, it's so nice that it's actually a very awesome one. For you to even say, okay, I'm going to get a leadway plan, maybe you've already noted the person you want to sponsor, and then say, okay, a leadway target savings plan towards when I have this lump sum to help the person. Like, do you get it? It's just, that one is just so well structured that I kind of think that's like an easier one to manage.
Okay. Eniola, do you have any contributions to that?
The only thing I wanted to add, but she said it at the end, was if you already know that maybe you are responsible for someone's education, then having the leadway targeted savings plan, like, towards education, you already know, okay, if let's say the person's school fees just rough is 300,000 and is due by September, if you already started saving towards that, let's say from January, or let's say from February, then you know that by September you're not running up and down. So you kind of already have a structured plan towards helping. Even if you call it black tax, you already have an idea that, okay, this amount is already going to that. So it's not in September, you're now trying to rally round. You just remove 3,000 from your savings, and it's like dipped you further down your savings goal. So that's what I wanted to add, but she said it already.
Well, yeah, interesting one, Olamide. There's another question that popped up, and from your contributions, we've mentioned plan. How do you then manage unplanned billings? Do you say no? Do you say no outrightly? Someone is saying, should you be the bad guy, or should you just give and carry face? What if it happens again and again? This is a question from one of the people in the audience. How do you manage unplanned billings? Because it happens. And we've been talking about planning. Now, what happens when we get unplanned ones?
So I think it's still going back to this. Like the person obviously said, if they say no, they will probably maybe paint you as the bad guy. But then you've also said that the more you give, the person is coming over and over again, or you're having the same unplanned bill. So the unplanned bill, what exactly is the unplanned bill? Is it a health situation that came up? Like, is it, God forbid, an accident happened? So even with the unplanned bill, we know the things that are important. We know the things that are not important. If somebody is coming to me almost every day or every week asking me for lunch money, or money for data, or money for airtime, they are not things that I really have to go out of my way to support you with. But if it's a case of, that this thing, it is do or die, like this person is in the hospital, they need this amount of money for this, they need this, fine, that's understandable. That is, or something happens to someone in the family and you have to take up responsibility for maybe a niece or a nephew, but like it's unplanned to you, but life happened. It's not a case of this person just wants to come and milk from me, like, okay, Annie, it's time for you to come and pay for my MCN subscription now. It's time for you to come and... So I think even in the unplanned, we know the things that are important and we know the things that are not important. And if it happens again and again, like by the time you say no, 1, 2, 3, because I have had cases where people come and meet me to ask me for money. I don't have this amount at this moment, I am dealing with this particular bill. The next time the person comes, if the person came with maybe 10,000, the person will be by themselves. They are the ones that will reduce the amount they come and request for. Eventually, you just see that the person stops asking. But I think it's even being tough, you being able to say no, and okay, I'm the bad guy, but it's what it is. Sorry, I don't have money for you. So I think that's the way I'll answer that question.
Olamide, do you have any comments?
I think I would refer to exactly something Annie said earlier, that she was like, how much is it? And then she'll give them part of it. Although that will now lead to anytime somebody wants to ask for money, you're not asking for more than the money because you know that if I ask if I ask Galila for 10,000, she give me 1,000. So let me tell her I need 20,000. Anyway, but jokes aside, I feel like yes, you say unplanned billing, but you yourself, you have like a segment of your income that is for on like you get so you have your own miscellaneous, and then you also have well in case anybody asking for money, this is how much I will be giving out. So it's almost like you have like a amount. I don't want to call it charity, but you have an amount that you are willing to use to help other people that I need in your budget.
Yeah, I mean, good comments. For me, I don't know. I think there's also, as you said, miscellaneous something is something that you should also take into consideration. So, I mean, that helps for unplanned billings. And at the end of the day, there's a point where you just have to say no. When you don't have again, you cannot kill yourself. You know, for me, that's how I see it. At some point where you've exhausted and you've assessed the situation, because there are some situations that would demand that you dig deep to provide the finance required, or at least part of it. But if the situation is not such that, like that, I think you can be able to say no to it. Okay. I don't think there is any other question um, in the audience, in the comments. So I'll just take last words of advice from Olamide and Eniola and myself too. So we'll start from Eniola. Last words for our guests.
Yeah, okay. So the most important thing is prioritizing your through our Leadway website, through our targeted savings plans, so you can save ahead for yourself and for emergencies. Um, Also, I think it's okay for you to have a budget. Like this is how much I'm comfortable to part away towards black tax, either monthly or yearly. And also, it's okay to say no. You don't need to feel bad. You don't need to feel like the bad person. There's only so much you can do. There's only so much help you can give. So those are my own last words.
Okay, Olamide.
My last words would be anytime somebody comes to ask you for money, maybe you should use that as an opportunity to sell insurance to them. So if somebody tells you, "Oh, I'm broke down, I need money to fix my car, please help me," and then you can give them a bit and be like, "Ah, this is another reason why I should get kind of auto base at least, so that if you have issues with your car, it can cover a bit." Or if somebody comes to meet you about any like maybe like even education and this is why most likely you should be saving towards please help me with my children's school fees. Like maybe this is why you should get like a savings plan so that you can plan ahead for this. So just constantly remember that even when you're helping people in terms of giving them finance like money, also educating them on how they can be more financially stable might be even more valuable than the money that will solve their initial problem, but help them like.
Okay, Olamide, are you done? Okay, yeah, I mean, for me, I think I like your idea of directing them to buy insurance. Is something that I think I also key into. Um, so, last words for me, black tax is, I mean, I don't think it's going anywhere. It's here to stay. It's something that will always be around. And I think we can plan for it. As Olamide said, sometimes direct them to get insurance products because it helps them to be able to sort of pay for some of the unforeseen circumstances. And we had mentioned some target savings plans. We had mentioned health plans. For some more information on some of our Leadway health insurance plans, like the one I mentioned earlier, we can sort of visit our website, www.leadwayhealth.com, or DM some of the handles that have been displayed on the screen. Also, for our insurance saving plans and family benefit plans, you can also send a DM to Leadway Assurance on Instagram or Facebook, and Leadway Insure on Twitter. This, by getting some of these plans, we can be able to sort of help our finances. We're able to, even as salary earners, structure our finances and our payment towards black tax. So I hope that this has been helpful, and I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that we key into it, and I wish us a good rest of the year handling black tax. Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
Have you always wanted to buy a house, a car, study abroad, or get married? Expensive, right? Your goals can be met with the Leadway Target Plan. Here's how it works. You tell us your target sum, when you want to achieve it, and how often you want to contribute towards achieving it. We then tell you how much you will be contributing periodically. There's more. The Leadway Target Plan also protects your loved ones if you pass away unexpectedly. It pays the target sum to your beneficiary, whether or not you achieve the sum as at the time of your demise. Live your dream today by visiting www.leadway.com/target plan or send us a DM on our social media accounts.